Welcome to Thoughts in the Glass podcast. I'm LaToya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered thoughts and opinions on a variety of topics.
So sit back, relax, and join us on a conversation of real, raw, and ridiculously funny commentary.
Period. Welcome back. Okay, so clearly, as y'all can see, it's just me. Kendra's still on vacation. She'll probably do a takeover next week and give us all the details on that. But for this week, it's been a lot going on. So, that said, let's get into the spill. So the spill for this week, there's been quite a few things going on. I'm just going to touch on a couple of points, y'all, because some of this stuff I don't be keeping up with. Apparently, Tamar and Kandi are getting into it. They've been arguing, going back and forth. Tamar did a interview on for somebody. It wasn't Vogue. Who was it? I can't remember the platform, but she did an interview where she spoke on the beef and was saying like, oh, it's no beef between them, they're cool. But then Kandi got on her podcast and was saying like, it's not cool, like they're still beefing, there's still something, like stuff going on between them, which I don't be getting into that. That's, y'all know that's not really my forte, but this was something that came across my social media feed, so I figure I add that into the spill. What else? It was something else that I wanted to mention for the spill. I can't remember what it was. Okay, I did know what I wanted to talk about. So everybody has been talking about it. This is kind of old. It's not really new, but everybody has been talking about Tuskegee University's new dress code. They're saying they're not allowing bonnets or durags or pajamas to be worn. A lot of people have been giving their commentary on that. With situations like this, I feel like it's a little bit nuanced. I see both sides of the argument. I do it. I'm one of those people who would agree with the. I agree with the philosophy of you want to dress for success, you want to dress to impress, and there's a time and a place for everything. However, I do think that there's a way we can dress it without policing young people so much. And the other thing I want to bring up is people talk about professionalism and people talk about, how you should present yourself. But we live in a society that's constantly evolving and changing. And so the clothes that we wear now, somebody from 100 years ago would be like, what do y'all have on? That's inappropriate. We've gotten to the point where people walk around in leggings. And not too long ago, leggings was deemed as inappropriate, but yet you can get away with it now. Caps. Ever since this, well, not even before the MAGA movement, but it used to be that you would take your hat or your cap off and anytime you went inside of a building. It used to be that hats or caps were not considered professional, but yet you have your president on TV wearing a cap, and now you see people wearing caps and hats all the time, and it's becoming a fashion statement, and it's not seen as unprofessional. Maybe in certain settings, like in a courthouse or things like that, but I'm just pointing this out to say that right now they're targeting, wearing pajamas and wearing bonnets and do-rags right now. But somebody said this on TikTok, and I agree with this. Those things are a few years away from being fashion statements. And I think that we have to look at it in that way, that yes, we have to keep in mind, you want to be professional, and you have to keep in mind your setting and where you are when you're wearing certain things. However, we're also growing and changing as a society and evolving. And a lot of times, I also think some of these things are specifically targeted towards Black American culture. So That's just my 2 cents on it. What else is going on? Apparently, there was a shooting at In and Out in Idaho. Okay, so basically, a bystander who just so happened to be armed distracted the gunman, and so it says that he fatally shot himself. The shooter was identified and he shot himself. Uh, so that happened. Sorry, I don't have the full details on that. I just quickly looked at, what was going on so I could give you guys the spill. What else is happening? Ariana Grande is taking a step back. She's not going to be as public or doing too much in the public eye once this tour is over. I guess a lot of people have been commenting on her body, and she's getting a lot of scrutiny for how she looks. And apparently it's starting to affect her. So she says she's taking a step back. Her new music video came out, and I haven't seen it, but Chris was telling me about it, and he said that she kind of addressed some of these issues in her new music video, where she talks about, she basically acts out like people commenting on her appearance and stuff like that, and then she basically kills all the people. So I guess that is sending a clear message on how she feels about that. In other news, so San Diego Comic-Con was a couple of weeks ago, and they made a lot of major announcements. So we all know that Doomsday is coming out December 18th. So if you were at San Diego Comic-Con, I think it's on YouTube now, they did roll out a exclusive look into Doomsday. I think they rolled out the trailers. They also revealed that David Johnson is going to be playing in the Black Panther 3. He'll be T'Challa the second, so T'Challa's son. People have been going crazy about that casting because they look so similar, and David Johnson is such a good actor. They announced Ghost Rider. So it's going to be Ryan Gosling is taking over the role, which I like it. A lot of people were saying they wanted Nicolas Cage back, but he's getting a little older. So I like this Ryan Gosling casting. Also, so this wasn't announced, but apparently Blade got canceled. So I think a lot of people was looking forward to Wesley Snipes and Blade, but that got canceled. And then I heard a rumor that Jonathan Majors was coming back as Kang, but that's just a rumor. Marvel hasn't released anything, or at least I haven't seen anything concerning that. Okay, let's get into the drink of the night. We will be revisiting some old footage. I know that's not really y'all favorite thing, but those older episodes that didn't get a whole lot of views, how can I say this? When we put time and energy into an episode, or like we put the content out, I personally feel like Kendra may disagree. When we don't get enough bang for our buck on it, in my mind, I need to try to find a way to reuse the content so that we can extract more out of it. I hope that makes sense. One, I don't have a drink, so that's another reason why. Two, not a whole lot of people saw it, so it might be new to some people, it may be old to those of you who are faithful listeners. And three, we can recycle some content. We don't always have to come up with new ideas. That being said, there is a lot of going on that I want to talk about aside from that, but I'm just preparing you for those of you that'll be like, oh, we saw this already. You're going to see it again. Okay, let's revisit it.
This is a double recipe. So I did 3 ounces of tequila, 2 ounces of lemon juice, and then an ounce of maraschino juice.
Cherry juice?
Cherry juice, yes.
Or Luxardo cherry juice.
Cherry juice. Somebody's cherry juice. Mix it up, pour it in 2 glasses. Then I topped it with ginger ale.
Okay. You had put a little concoction together.
A little concoction. Mm-hmm.
That's good. It's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually very refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Don't catch me on a hot summer day. 'Cause I'm drunk.
So, okay, let me just start here. I'm not even gonna ask you how your week was because we just had our little drink, and I don't know if it's like peer pressure, but you know, it's Leo season. Your birthday's coming up. Our friend Tiffany's birthday just passed, and then my stepdaughter Sydney's birthday just passed, right? And we went out. Sydney's turned 22. We went out, and me and my family, her cousins, whatever, we're like, okay, it's your birthday. Let's do a shot. Now she don't drink, right?
Okay.
We've been trying to get her to drink, and I feel so bad because everything we have given her to try has been like something that she didn't like the taste of it. And I'm telling her, like, alcohol, when it comes to drinking, when it comes to alcohol, it's so vast. It's so many different things. You may not like vodka. You may not like gin. You may not like bourbon. But then you may like tequila. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in order for her to know, she obviously has to try them. But because the first couple of ones she's tried, she didn't like, she's kind of like, I don't want to keep trying it. Yeah. And she's like, y'all keep giving me stuff and it tastes nasty, and now I'm over it. She was like, everything I've tried so far has tastes like cough syrup. So we ended up doing green tea shots, which were actually really good. And I was like, Sydney, I think, like, I know I said it before, but I think you're gonna like this one. And she's like, I don't trust you anymore, because she was like, you said that about a margarita and I didn't like it. And she was like, you said that about we gave her a seltzer, because I'm thinking no, like the hard lemonades and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what she said. But I was thinking that would be easier on the palate than, you know, a mixed drink.
No, she probably should have started out with like a wine cooler.
Okay.
Which is super fruity. I would have maybe started her out.
But wine cooler still has that like sour, like that fermented taste.
So if you get one like a strawberry daiquiri wine cooler,
yeah,
it doesn't have that.
That's true. I should have gave her a daiquiri.
If you like, that's what I started out with. I started out with daiquiris.
Girl, my first drink was an apple martini. And y'all, some of y'all know my family, some of y'all don't, but that was my aunt Deborah that gave me that, and it's like, that tracks.
What was my first drink? So I always would have daiquiris because I started out with like virgins, so I was already used to that. So I probably would have done and if I did a mixed drink, I would have done something for her with like pineapple juice and orange juice, because that overpowers the alcohol taste. I would do like a tequila sunrise. Yeah, because you get more of the juicier stuff in it. Definitely a daiquiri, and I would just put a little bit of alcohol in it, because you build your tolerance. Yeah, to what you like. You'll take.
But and the thing is, so I guess the thing for me is like, she drank the twisted tea, and she didn't taste anything, and she was like, if it's like this, then I'm okay.
Yes, because that peach flavor overpowers whatever's in it.
But so that's why I was thinking, when the next thing she tried was like the hard lemonade, I was thinking, well, that sour lemon can kind of, but it didn't. No. It did for me, but it's like, but I've been drinking. Right. Yeah. So for her, it was like, this is disgusting. Well, I don't like it. Yeah. And so my family was like, well, try a margarita. You might like it. Because, you know, margaritas can be sweet. Yeah. And it was a flavored. So I think it was like a strawberry margarita. But she didn't like that. And then, see, and that they messed it up, because when we was in Ocean City, we took shots of Dawn. And they asked her to, like, they basically encouraged her to take a shot, which she did, but it's like, because she don't like alcohol, when she took the shot, that was really like,
yes, very begrudging.
What is this? Like, it burns. Yeah. I don't like it. So anyway, she would not take the green tea shot. And then I felt bad, because it's like, I'm not trying to peer pressure you, but I'm trying to explain to you that this is so much lighter than anything you've ever tried. Like, don't give up on it. Just to kind of see where your palate is. Like, I'm not saying you have to be an alcoholic, but like, you know, you're 22. This is the time to explore and kind of see what you like. But she wasn't having it.
If you're gonna do it, and then that's the other thing, like you have to express to the bartender that you need them to be lighter, because it also depends on your bartender. Because you have certain bartenders that's like, okay, I'm gonna get these people, oh, it's your birthday, I'm gonna get you fucked up.
Yeah.
There's other bartenders that's like, like if you say, well, she's not a drinker, they're like, I'm gonna give you something that you don't taste.
And the crazy thing is, she likes mixed drinks. Like before she turned 21, she would get like a virgin mojito, or I think because it made her feel like, oh, I have something.
Yeah.
But then everybody, if everybody at the table is ordering something, it's like, okay, I'll get like a virgin whatever.
So what I would do is make her a mojito, and then put a little bit of alcohol in it.
Just like gradually build it up.
See if she likes that, and she's like, oh, I don't really taste nothing. And that might be her
level,
right?
Yeah.
And then you add a little bit more. So instead of doing like maybe a full ounce, I would start with like a quarter ounce, and then gradually, and a quarter ounce is like basically nothing.
I don't know if she's ever going to try it again, because she basically was like, I don't trust y'all. Like anybody, like she was like, if anybody tells me something tastes good at this point, I'm like. Yeah. Because she's like, everybody says stuff tastes good, and then when I taste it, it's nasty. So she's like, I can't really trust what anybody has to say about alcohol anymore.
But also, she may have a pre-notion that it's going to be nasty because...
And I think that's what it is. I'm like, you're in your mind...
about it, it might be...
Exactly. You're in your mind thinking that it's going to be nasty, so when you taste it, it's like, I'm already thinking it's going to be nasty. So any little differentiation in taste, I'm going there. So anyway, that's my little.
Listen, I take all the drink.
Right. So yeah, we ended up, because I was like, well, you at least like, you at least gotta taste it. Like, just toast with it and taste it, girl. She was not having it.
She might have it like there.
And that's okay. Like that's okay. But I hate that attitude of like being so closed off to things, especially when it's like you ain't never really give it a try for real.
But that's the thing. Also, like if you're someone who's not a drinker, it took me a long, like I didn't drink and like really start drinking until like 25, 26. So, cause alcohol tasted disgusting to me. And so I started to have to make my own stuff to see what I liked. And then that actually brung my tolerance. Cause I used to not I used to not drink brown alcohol because I thought that was for men.
Yeah.
Now my preference is, and I didn't drink tequila. I would only do like lemon drops. Now I can't even drink vodka. Like vodka is disgusting to me. Yeah. I'll do tequila, or it definitely will do like a whiskey or bourbon.
And I was trying to explain that to her. So I'm like, Sydney, your taste will change.
Yeah.
You saying that now because your taste buds ain't never had nothing but juice.
Yeah.
As soon as you start to expose yourself to different things, your taste buds will change. But whatever, we'll see. I said, you know what? I tried.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because I'm like, I didn't mean to start you off so harsh, but it's just like the situations we were in, it was just like, okay, this is just what we got going on. But hopefully she'll give it a try again. But
and then she can start, even though it's very much so more high in sugar content. Liqueurs, because liqueurs are liquor.
Yeah.
But, it just doesn't have... The sugar high content is so much higher.
Yeah.
So...
Maybe maybe you could talk to her. Like, it's just like, hey, these are some different things you could play with.
And if you... to really, do a Malibu.
So that's what I wanted to... that's the drink that I wanted her to order. I was like, dude, because it was like a Malibu with, like, blue curacao and, like... lemonade. It was some kind of like that's basically all the course. We were at Dave and Buster's for our birthday, so it was some kind of drink they had on the menu. And I was trying to get her to get it, but she was so over it. She was just like, I don't want to do it. So it's like, whatever, girl. I'm not gonna peer pressure you, but I don't think it's peer pressure, man. And maybe it is. I think it's more so. I'm just encouraging you to be open-minded about something. Yeah. Especially, it's a taboo topic, but you're your own woman. And I want her to be able to decide, hey, I've tried all these things.
Oh, he's just listening to you. Go ahead.
It's like, I tried all these things, and then this is where I'm landing. Yeah. Versus, well, just because society is saying something, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want her to base her opinion on that. I want her to have her experience and say, I've been there, done that. I'm good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So I don't know where we're gonna take it.
Where it's gonna go.
So this weekend was Sydney's birthday. To celebrate her birthday, we went to the Cheesecake Factory. I finally got her to taste a cocktail that she liked. She had a Mai Tai. And I thought about it because her main complaint has been in the past that, the taste of the alcohol is too strong. But I thought about it. Rum is more subtle, right? And really anything can be masked with enough juice, right? With enough sugar, you can mask anything. But rum is more subtle. Like, rum is the kind of thing where when you go on vacation, you get messed up on a rum punch or something like that. And so I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but it came to me like she should try something with rum because it has a subtle taste. And so she had a Mai Tai and she liked it, and she was like, okay, now I see why, like I could tolerate having a drink or drinking socially, but before everything she tried, just the taste of alcohol was just too strong. And I get it. That I think we all have experienced that as like when you first start drinking, you don't like the taste. And so you try to get something fruity until your palate develops. And then it's like, okay, now I can handle something a little stronger. So she had that. She wanted to get her ears pierced, so we went and did that, which I've talked about Sydney on here a little bit, but that's huge for her. She really doesn't step outside of her comfort zone that much. So for her to want to like do something like that was pretty big. And then we went to this really cute spot called Round One. So it's basically like Dave and Buster's, but it has more of a I would say it has more of a Japanese anime theme, whereas Dave and Buster's is more like, I don't even know how to describe. Like Dave and Buster's is like traditional arcade. I think that Round One is more like Japanese arcade, if that makes sense. Um, if you or anybody is into anime, they had a lot of anime themed games that you could play. They're really known for, they have a huge I don't even know what to call it, a huge gallery of the claw games where you can win the little plushies. And we were actually winning some. I usually, when it comes to those claw things, I typically never win. We were actually winning some. However, my theory on that is by the time you finally win, you could have just bought the stuffed animal. Like for a $20 stuffed animal, by the time you spend $20 trying to play the game, you could have just bought the stuffed animal. And I get it. For a lot of people, the fun is in actually playing the game and challenging yourself and seeing if you can win. And she enjoyed it. My cousins Trenton and Barry came. My brother was there. My husband was there. So Sydney enjoyed herself. We all had a good time, but I walked away from it kind of just feeling like, by the time we did all of this, we could have just bought these stuffed animals. But anyway, that was super fun. And Round One is in Potomac Mills. So we rode out Virginia, like Woodbridge area. Okay, so the real tea is what has been going on with me this week. Y'all, I had a busy weekend and I'm so excited to talk to y'all about it. So Saturday I went to the Black Book Matters Festival, which I posted it on my Instagram and on my TikTok. And honestly, by the time y'all see this episode, probably everything I did over the weekend will be posted. But so I did that. That event, so I went last year. I don't know if y'all remember, but I went last year, and the main author was Kennedy Ryan. This year, I would say the main author was S.A. Crosby, but they had other authors there this year. They actually had a really nice lineup this year, but I think he was like the biggest name. I really like the way they organized it this year. I want to try to get on their list of volunteers because I really like that event. And, I enjoy going as an attendee, but I listen to mostly audiobooks. So I'm not spending a whole lot of money when I'm there because I don't buy physical books. And I think that my time would be better served being a volunteer, helping keep things organized. Like, I just, I don't know. I just be getting into shit, and so I reached out to the people that owned Mahogany Bookstore. I reached out to them to see if I could be a part of the volunteer staff for next year. So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. But that event was really nice at the National Harbor. Free event. Lots of different authors. They had the DJ out there. It was just a nice time. I really enjoyed myself. So I was able to make my way over to Costco in DC and get me a bottle of Sable bourbon and meet Morris Chestnut. Okay, y'all. When I saw that he was coming, because they had advertised it on Instagram, and I guess a couple of other places it was advertised. So when I saw that he was coming, it was like, I want to say maybe 10 o'clock Saturday night. I'm scrolling and I see it. I'm like, I'm going. I texted my aunt. Well, no, it wasn't 10 o'clock. It was 10 o'clock Friday night. Because I texted my aunt Saturday, and then Sunday I ended up going to get this. So I texted my aunt Deborah on Saturday, and I was like, hey, do you have a Costco card? Which I knew she had one, but I was just like, let me just confirm. So she texted me back like, yeah, you want to borrow it? I'm like, yes. I text her like, I want to meet Morris Chestnut. He going to be at Costco, whatever. And so she like, okay, cool. I thought, maybe she'll come with me. Maybe we can go together. But it was from 11 to 12:30. So I was like, I need to get to Costco early, get in line. Like, I'm not playing around. So at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, when I woke up, I texted her, hey, I'm coming to get the Costco card. You riding or not? She responded with, come and get the card. So I guess she didn't feel like getting up and getting herself together that early. But I took my butt from Waldorf all the way to Bowie to get that Costco card. And then from Bowie to Costco in DC. So I think I got there at about like 10:30. Got my bottle, stood in line, and yeah, I met Morris Chestnut and was able to take a picture with him. Everybody's been asking me like, does he smell good? Does he smell good? Y'all, I was so nervous. I don't know. I think I can't explain it, because sometimes you meet famous people and you meet celebrities, and depending on the environment, you might be chill. Other times I'm like, I don't know. But y'all, this time I was nervous. And maybe it was like the energy, because like the other people that was standing in line waiting to see him, they were all like really excited. So like maybe it was like a lot of nervous energy that I was feeding off of. But I was so nervous. And okay, so here's the other thing. Most of the famous people that I have met have been like church people, because we've talked about this. I used to spend a lot of time in church, right? And in different like choirs and singing groups and stuff like that. So I've met like famous church people. Like I've met Tasha Cobbs and, Marette Brown Clark, all like lots of church people, lots of gospel artists I've met. And when I met them, I don't know, like I wasn't starstruck. And maybe it was because it was the environment, maybe because it's a different type of situation. I don't know. But when I met Morris Chestnut, and it also too could be, I wouldn't necessarily say that he's a celebrity crush. He is, but like he's not one that I'm like, that I think about all the time. Like he fine. And yeah, like I see him on TV, but at the same time, he's not like Theo James. Like y'all know I'm crazy about Theo James.
Well, this is what happens in movies, right? You get attracted to like, now he know he fine. Mm-hmm. So why he acting like he don't, like this don't faze him. But then when you see it faze him, you be like, that's what I've been waiting for this whole. So that's what real people is. Yeah. But then real life, they be like nonchalant, but don't know how to. There's no real instant.
Or it's like you were saying, like you're acting like these things don't faze you, but in the movie we glorify it, but in real life it's like, well, that's a form of insecurity.
But then also, there's never an instance in where the chalant has to happen. Right.
So I can't really explain where this anxiety was coming from, but I was so nervous. But he was super nice. I did not get to smell him, y'all. If he did smell good, my brain was so, my head was in the clouds. I couldn't smell anything. I just was smiling and staring at him and trying to not mix up my words. But he was super nice. He was very, very nice. And I think he understood that most people were a little nervous. So I think he kind of was being a little bit more personable and a little bit more open, trying to like take control of the situation. So when I met him, he introduced himself. I introduced myself. We shook hands, and he was just so nice. He was like, "Thank you so much for supporting." He was asking questions about the bourbon, like, are you a bourbon drinker? Like, do you like the bourbon? Like, I really appreciate y'all coming out. Well, like, he was talking to me, so I really appreciate you coming out, and all of this and that. So he was just so nice, and I have told my family this, but I'll tell y'all, the way they had this thing set up, they had like his little like poster or banner, and then he was like behind a table, and then we were all like coming up to take a picture. So it was his photographer, and then it was like another person from his team that would take your phone and take a picture with your phone. His photographer was like arranging people so that she could see the banner and you and him. So I wasn't really standing that close to him because she was arranging it so that she could also see the banner. And he was like, "Oh, come a little closer, like, stand beside me, get closer." I was like, "You ain't got to tell me twice. Come closer, okay?" let me get a little closer. Um, but even like something as small as that, I think made me feel a little bit more comfortable. But I was still super nervous, and I don't know why. Like I don't know why that situation. Just I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm like actually talking to him. So anyway, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got up early. I'm glad I went. Yeah, like Kendra can't drink right now, so I'm gonna wait until probably Black History Month. Y'all know we try to do black alcohols for Black History Month, so I'll wait till Black History Month to crack it open, and we'll taste it on screen, so y'all will get a chance to see that. So as for right now, I have no clue what Sable tastes like. I heard that it's good. Also, the bottles were signed, so that's dope. I had thought about like, well, maybe I shouldn't crack it open because it's signed. But then Judah was like, well, you can drink the liquor, just save the bottle, like save the empty bottle. And I was like, all right, yeah, that's smart. I'll do that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. What else happened? Uh oh, you know what I want to talk about? I'm not reading this right now, but I think I talked to y'all about this before when I did read it, because I read it 2 years ago. Children of Blood and Bone. So y'all know they coming out with the movie, right? I read the book when it came out about 2 years ago. I think 2024. If that's not the time that it came out, it was shortly after it came out, maybe like a year after it came out. I read the book. And it was really good. I actually liked the book. Now, there's been a lot of controversy. I guess something happened with her behind the scenes during the filming process. And the author, Tomi Adeyemi, she has distanced herself from the movie personally, but I saw that she had recently posted, I don't have a problem with anybody else seeing the movie. I personally just can't, like, I need to distance myself from the film. And I thought about that because I'm like, either way, because it's her intellectual property and the film is based on her book, she's going to get some royalties. So whether things like all that, that she got going on as far as her feeling some type of way, I'm not invalidating her experience, but if the movie does well, you're still going to get paid. So to me, I feel like it kind of makes sense for you to go ahead and promote the movie, or for people to go ahead and watch the movie, because if you're going to go through something traumatic, in my opinion, might as well get paid for it, right? But I could be wrong, but that's just how I look at it. So I'm excited about the movie. I'm excited about the movie. Uh, y'all know that's fantasy, black fantasy. Well, this one is really based around African mythology, but still, black fantasy. That's my shit. So I'm excited for the movie. I really am. Yeah. Oh, and also on the topic of movies, I did go see the new Spider-Man movie, and I liked it. I really liked it. It is actually doing well for opening weekend. How much money did it make? Okay, it's doing well. So for opening weekend, it did 355 million domestically and 927 million globally. Um, and apparently that's historic as the second biggest opening of all time. Wow. I didn't know it was doing that well. I knew it had done well, but I didn't know it was doing that well. The movie was really, really good. Um, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I just really liked it. I just thought it was good. I thought that the storyline was good. I like the direction that they're going in preparation for Doomsday. Um, I thought the movie was really good. I like that they're also showing Spider-Man growing up, right? Because remember the first couple of movies, he's in high school, and so now like they're graduating college, like they're older now, and so I love that we're growing with him as a character. I love that we are seeing his personality evolve. Um, what else? Oh, a lot of people were taking their kids to see this movie. I don't. Okay, I know the kids love Spider Man. There was a lot of adult themes and concepts in this movie that I feel like was inappropriate for kids. Um, I don't know what it's rated. It's probably PG-13. Um, it's definitely PG-13. There were a bunch of little kids in the theaters, and like when there were kissing scenes and stuff like that, you could hear them like, oh, he kissed, like I guess that's not that big of a deal, but there were some adult themes in the movie, and I just don't know I would have let my if I would let my young kid watch that. Like a child that's under the age of 10, I don't know if I would let them watch it. Uh that's just my personal opinion. There were also some very adult jokes that maybe would go over the kids' heads, but sometimes it's like even though they don't understand what it means, do you even want them in the room, or do you even want them to be exposed to it even if they don't know what it means? I don't know. I don't have no kids. So, well, I didn't birth any kids. So, I can't really fully speak on it, but I'm just saying from my perspective, I would not have had my little child watching that. This is a mini spoiler, but I was happy to see Tremel Tillman in the Marvel universe. So if you don't know who that is, he's the black guy from Severance. Uh I was so happy to see him. I was like, oh my gosh, he's such a great actor. And so to see him expanding, I know he showed up in Top Gun as well, and I was like, look at him. So I'm definitely happy to see him getting more roles and showing up in more of these big blockbuster movies. Love that for him. That's all I'm gonna say about Spider-Man because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I will say it was really good. And I was thinking about this after the movie was over. When I think about the Marvel movies in general, I feel like the Spider-Man franchise is probably the most entertaining of them all. Second to that for me would be Iron Man. And then there's different subcategories, right? Like Thor, I think you get a lot of the background, you get a lot of lore, you get a lot of like information when it comes to the Thor movies. I don't feel like Thor is that entertaining. I feel like his movies just help build you up for the next story. Iron Man, I think Iron Man is entertaining, not as much as Spider-Man, but entertaining, but I think it's just because Robert Downey Jr., I think he's such a good actor that he makes those movies he makes those movies what they are. And not to say that the other people aren't good actors, y'all. I'm just saying, like, this is my perspective. Also, the Iron Man movies, I don't know. It's something about them that feels like it's a little bit more meaningful, you know, like maybe because the Thor movies a lot of times is set in space and outer space, and it's a lot of stuff going on that doesn't really seem real, whereas the Iron Man movies is like in our current timeline, like real things are happening, you know, technology, like the Iron Man movies kind of, to me, remind me of what could happen today with like AI and stuff like that, right? So that's what makes it entertaining for me. Whereas Spider-Man, I think because the character of Spider-Man doesn't take himself too seriously, he's a little bit more witty and funny and making jokes and not really, you know, he's just like a more carefree character. So I think that's what makes his movies more entertaining for me. And the other ones, I mean, like Guardians of the Galaxies, okay. You know, I think all the rest of them are just okay, if that makes sense. Even the Hulk movies are just okay to me. But I still watch them all. Anyway, it was good. I will say the after credits, what do you call it? Whatever the little clip, the after credits clip for the Spider-Man movie, this one was kind of lame. So I would say I don't think it's worth it to stay to the end of the movie to see that little clip because it was very lame. If you could find it on YouTube, I would watch it on YouTube because it wasn't that good. What else? Anything else? Did I miss anything? I think that's basically it. Did I have anything for last call? I think that's basically it. So we'll go ahead and get into the Angel Share. We've been doing this for a while now, so y'all know what it is. Basically, the Angel Share is our positive message that we give at the end of each episode. And so this week, the Angel Share is about taking risk. Taking a risk means choosing growth over comfort, right? And stepping into the unknown and unlocking your true potential. The biggest risk of all is staying exactly where you are and never knowing what could have been. So take the risk, jump out there, you know, do the unexpected thing. So that's the Angel Share. That's it for this week, guys. I know it wasn't our typical episode, but hopefully you still enjoyed it.
Okay, all right. Well, that was another
great episode. It was. Drop down in the comments to tell us who your celebrity crush is. Yes. Male or female.
Yes.
Male or female. And I would say, the therapist in me wants to say, and what does that say about you?
What does that say about you? I tell you what, that daggone Michael Jamal, honey.
That makes so much sense now that I'm thinking about it. Like, that makes so much sense.
I just love him. But anyway, make sure you
like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Drop down in the comments.
And we'll drink to that.